Welcome back to another episode of the Todd Durkin IMPACT Show. And I want to say how excited I am for today. And man, it is going to be one of the deepest series. This is a kickoff series of the Reinvention project. And man, I am excited. I'm nervous. I'm scared because I'm going to reveal some things that, well, frankly, you have not yet heard of. And that I'm going to go as deep as I've ever gone. Before I go there, I want to say thank you for all of the great feedback from last week's episode, number 300 with Rory Vaden. Rory Vaden dropped some dimes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to speak about that in a moment because I had a revelation when I recorded this episode with Rory Vaden. And let me tell you, it led to some sleepless nights. And it was really revealing for myself. So I hope, well, if you've had some sleepless nights in the last week alone, you're not alone, my friend. You are not alone. And this series is going to literally kick off here, episode 301. Can't believe episode 301. Yeah, you're going to hear some things that are going to shock you. You're going to hear some things that are going to make you think and go deep and reassure you that you are not the only one going through some stuff. Can I get an amen to that? Anyone right now going through any stuff, any struggles, any challenges, any adversities, any obstacles? Good. I heard you. You're not the only one. And speaking of gratitude, before I dive in, I want to say happy Mother's Day coming up. As I record this, Mother's Day is coming up this Sunday, May 14th. And I don't want to do it the day after Mother's Day when this episode drops. Say, hey, yesterday, happy Mother's Day. So for all you mamas out there, happy Mother's Day. For all you fathers and husbands out there, you better get your mind right, boy. And don't forget about your better half. And kiddos, don't forget about your mamas because y'all be lost without your mamas. I'm so blessed to have my mother, Mary Muffy Durkin, still in the house at age 89 down in Florida. What a blessing she is. Matter of fact, I may need to drop a little Muffy, little voice at the end of today's deep episode. And I'm extremely blessed to have my lovely bride, my better half, Melanie, not only as my wife for the past 22 years, but the mother of our three precious children, Luke, Brady, and McKenna. So Luke, Brady, and McKenna, y'all better be listening to this, and y'all better get your mama a nice gift along with a handwritten letter expressing your love. Don't worry about me. Take care of your mama. And to all you moms out there, thank you. Thank you for what you do. It goes unheralded so often. And I hope you have an extremely blessed week, and certainly next Sunday, Mother's Day, that you have an awesome, awesome day. So as mentioned, man, gosh, where do I start? This is going to be one heck of a series. And I'm really, really excited over the next several weeks to be sharing all that's happening. Talk about a reinvention. Part of this is a reinvention. Part of it's a rebrand for me on the Todd Durkin Enterprise side. And this has been spanning 3+ years. So I'm really excited to share just in the next couple weeks here. I've got a brand new website dropping on the todddurkin.com site. Can't wait for you to see that. I'm excited for the narrowing of our offerings. Yeah, I'm actually narrowing our offerings. We'll be sharing on that. We'll be focusing on fewer things. Thank you, Lewis Howes, and that lesson that Rory dropped last week. I'm excited to speak more, to coach more. I'm excited for a lot of things. But I need to share a few things first. You know how they say that pain precedes purpose? You know, they say that your future must be bigger than your past, or that your dreams must be bigger than your memories. And I've been saying this for years, guys. Those of you loyal listeners who've been with me for a long time, I consider you my family. If you're listening right now, I consider you family. Some of you I know, many of you I do not. And I always so appreciate when you reach out to me because I read every single message, every DM, whether I know you or not, every text message that comes through my text community, that I look at every message, and they literally are oxygen for me. I thrive on your feedback and your messages. It might be a good thing, maybe a bad, but I'm going to be vulnerable today on the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's also said that sometimes that the most dangerous thing to success is success. And over the next several weeks, I'm going to share from my heart. I'm going to share things that are working, not working, have worked, and not just, hey, guys, I got this brand new website and this new reinvention, and hey, all things are peaches and cream, right? And frankly, I've been putting this episode and this series off for months and months, and I've strongly considered waiting to share this until I'm done with my reinvention, or that the website is completely done, or the book on what I'm about to share is actually written, because this needs to go down probably into a book. Or I kept thinking, well, I'll wait till I'm speaking on even more stages, or that I feel complete and the reinvention is done. And then I thought about my theme this year of 2023. Many of you have worked through my God-Sized Dreams planner, and I asked one of the questions, what's your theme for 2023? What's your theme? And my theme for the year is why wait? We just got back from Montana and my why wait retreat with the mastermind. And I'm like, why wait? Why wait? Why wait? So here I sit alone in my office on a Saturday afternoon at Fitness Quest 10. It is just 12:30 in the afternoon, and we're closed downstairs. We're closed upstairs. And I've got the Jersey dog at my feet. It's just him and I on a Saturday afternoon. And I want to share from the heart. You know, I do some of my best work when Jersey dog is here with me, and he's making kind of some strange noises and even some smells that you can't smell, but you might hear him every now and then sigh. But occasionally he looks up at me and he smiles and he wags his tail. And truth be told, I needed him here today. No one else around but him and I, and your ears, to share and to think about your reinvention project. Because, man, sometimes I think I wouldn't have chosen this path. Sometimes the success and the things that you see and hear on this podcast and on my social media, sometimes a lot of the behind the scenes goes unseen, and the team sometimes sees it. But in many ways, this is almost a therapy that I needed to share, because I'm really, really excited for what the world is about to see. But no one knows the pain that's been behind it. No one knows when a journal gets released or a book gets released, the pain and the anguish and the blood and the sweat and the tears. It sounds so rhetorical, but it's not. So thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to this right now. And this episode is going to be the first of a series that is going to go really, really deep. Before you see, the reinvention and the website and all this stuff going on, I need to have a heart-to-heart with you. And wherever you're at today, a high or a lows, I want you to be with me. And I'm going to be in your head. I'm going to be in your mind and soul, and in your ears. Because I'm about to start a series that brings me a lot of fear of, let's be real. What are you going to think? To me, my voice is, what are they going to think? And what if they know that I don't always have it all together all the time? As I drop stuff, sometimes people think it's, man, how does he do what he does? And how does this happen? And a lot of times it's through pain and through my own therapy that I'm creating books or creating the GSD planner. Right? So many of those questions this year, I said I've gone deeper than ever before. It's because I'm as deep as I've ever gone in my own personal journey. And the journaling, I ask you to journal. Why? Because I journal. I'm working out and need to do this for myself. So here I sit with the Jersey dog, a bit nervous. And not so much about what and when is going to be dropping, because I'm really excited about that. But I want you to know why it's dropping, man. Why it's dropping, and why what you're about to see and feel is that you know me as a man as much as my family knows me, because I see sometimes the pain, the struggle, the success, and that brings its own set of devils to it, right? New levels, new devils. And it's not a coincidence that 300 plus episodes in today, as you listen to this, in 301, I can't believe it's been 300 episodes. And my team and I take great pride in we've never missed a week. We used to, way back in the day when we started this, We used to drop 2 a week. But I believe that these next several episodes may be the most important episodes of all 300 that have ever dropped. We've had some profound episodes, interviews and solos. But these, starting today, are going to be the realest of the real. And I actually waffled back and forth the last few weeks pondering if I should share this. And this morning, again, it's Saturday afternoon as I record this morning, as I was finalizing my notes, the devil got in my head and said, nope, don't share it. Don't share it. Getting emotional again, because I had an emotional breakdown this morning, crying, thinking, man, I need to share this because I've got so much good about to come out, but no one knows some of the pain in the last 3 years of what's happened and the struggle, the internal struggle. Ooh. I need to share this, my friends, because you inspire me, man. You inspire me to do what I do, these episodes. If it's Saturday afternoon, I'm sitting here, maybe it changes and saves one person's life, or maybe it re-inspires or reignites you. If you're watching this on YouTube, you probably see me getting all emotional. But back in episodes 1 and 2 of Impact Show launch, in episodes 1 and 2, go back and listen sometime. I shared with you back in 2018 that, man, I want this podcast to be real. I'm going to share the successes and the wins, but I'm going to share the losses and the defeats and the hard times. And when I was crying this morning and journaling and thinking about, can I do this and should I do this? It's like, I promised you and I gave you my word that I'll always give you my best. And sometimes my best is better than others. But sometimes I'm not sure I want to share all. But then again, that's who I am. I'm going to share that. And that's why you're here. And my hope is that through my vulnerability, that you know that you're not alone. No, I think that what you receive over these next several weeks should be in a next book. And while I can't go into every detail on this podcast and this series that I would in a book, I'm going to give you a high enough level to share some insights and mindsets with you that are real. And some may even be unreal to you. Unreal. Because as I start to frame up my next book, and I already have the title in my mind, I want to start to share with you as you see some of the things unfold. I don't want you thinking, Todd's got it all together. Man, all he does is create these products and programs and books. And it's, my friends, so many times I create it for myself and I want to share it with you, knowing that many times maybe you walk a similar path or have walked a similar path or will walk a similar path and come back to this episode 301, 302 in the weeks to come, because I need to share them. I personally need to share them and get this off me so that I know that you know that this is real. This isn't some facade. This isn't a Pollyanna talk all the time of just giving you motivation and heat and fire and spitting fires. The fire's coming from within, and many times it's coming from a place of pain when my mind ain't right. So it's going to take me probably 3 to 4 months to write this next book. It's only going to take me a few weeks to share with you in this series. And for now, you're going to get the podcast version of this mini series on here. And before I completely dive in, I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for giving me the space and the place that I can speak life into you every darn week, because I value that as much as any single thing that I do right now. I value your time and your energy and your listens. So thank you. And I value this space where I can be vulnerable and share my life with you and my family with you. Many of you know a lot about my family and Melanie and my kids and that. And I treasure that. And I thank you for that. And I also want to share this sacred space that I know that that God gave me that unique gift to motivate and inspire. And sometimes I don't always want that gift. Sometimes I feel really, 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 really excited. And sometimes like, man, like right now, I don't know. Can I share this and can I do this? And it's you, your comments, your DMs, your message, your texts on my community platform that mean the world to me. I read every single one of them. And those of you that said, man, I listened to every one of your 91 Good News Networks over the pandemic, and every one of them, I read every one of your messages and they give me life and they keep me going. They're literally fuel. It's why I do what I do. And when I know that in some small way that I've made a difference in some faraway town or a city or a country, this is what brings me joy and happiness that I experience. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And it's this prelude, this series of saying thank you for listening and all that. Again, I feel like it's a confession and a penance at the same time, but I need to share it. You're probably like, TD, dive in. Have you ever felt that you delay and you hesitate and you hem and haw? And I'm going to need to hear from you more than ever over these next several weeks. Can you do me a favor and make sure you share with me your takeaways, your support, your words, where you're at, your journey, your story? Because I'm putting myself on the limb here today and in this series. And especially to some of the strangers who I don't know, but you reach out to me, or every now and then I see you either at the gym or at a conference or at a keynote, and you're like, hey, I listened to your show. Thank you for sharing that. Because I know this is that God's calling me to serve more and to do more, to share more, inspire more, and to motivate more and empower more, to be more. And I don't always want to step up. And the voices I hear are, you got to step up. And if I'm going to hear, well done, good and faithful servant, then it's my responsibility to be obedient, even if my ego says not to. And that's why I'm doing this reinvention project, because it's, well, the past 3+ years, it's what it's all about. So who's this going to speak to? It's going to speak to someone who's doing a lot of soul searching. I don't know. Is that you? If you're doing soul searching, maybe that's you. This is going to speak to you. Maybe it's someone who may appear on the outside like y'all got it going on, but on the inside, you can't get out of your own head. And sometimes that head and mind seems like a own prison. Like a prison, like, man, if they only knew of how busy my mind is and that it can't shut off, that I'm not sleeping. Is that you? Maybe you're someone who prays a lot. And when you pray, sometimes you wonder, hey, God, are you listening? Because I don't want to step up to this. I'm trying to be obedient. But God, are you there? Are you really listening to what I need? And God's just smiling, saying, it's not about what you need. It's this mission that I need you to go on. So you sure you're ready for this? Because it's about to get deep. Jersey's looking up at me saying, let's go, Dad. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby. So if you're not ready, now would be a good time to skip to a previous episode and listen in, because there's a lot of fire. Every episode, even go back to Rory's last week, episode 300. Otherwise, it's time for me and you to have a little chit chat. A little chit chat. Why? Because, my friends, as many blessings that there have been in the last 3+ years, sometimes I feel like the last 3+ years have been hell. Hell. There's been so much confusion and soul searching and decisions made and decisions not made and tears and pain, literally physical pain and mental anguish. And yes, there's been a lot of joy and a lot of happiness and harmony and fulfillment in there. I get that. But I got to let you know, and inside that, sometimes there's been so much confusion in the 3+ years. And then I stop and I'll reflect and I'll think, man, don't feel sorry for yourself. No. Don't live there. No. And you start to think, okay, books created, and for me, 2 of them, and a journal and a planner and programs and products to change the world. And I think I've had 2 major surgeries in 3 years. One major surgery avoided a business sold, retreats and live events and conferences and keynotes and mistakes made and successes created and confusion, delusion, illusion, and crazy, right? So many times I'll be out for a walk or I'll journal and I think I'm the most blessed man on the planet. And sometimes I'm like, man, how can I be so effed up right now? Now get your mind right. That means freaked up. Yeah, I got y'all. You're like, TD? Yeah. Because sometimes in my own mind, I got to get my own mind right. Like, man, like, what the far? What the far? I use that word far. Like, what the far? And here, the mind right maniac himself sometimes needs to get his own mind right. Sometimes the mind ain't right, and I have to fight like mad to keep the demons from popping up, because what I constantly hear is sometimes when you're so close to where God wants you, that's when the devil does his best work. But you got to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and prayer and answer and prayer. And throughout these last 3 years, I always get a glimpse and a hope of almost there. And I hear God say, keep going. Keep going. You're getting close. Keep going. I got you right where I want you. And then you're like, but I don't want this. And can we just speed the process up? So one of the things I want to share today is this recent encounter with this guy that you heard from last week called Rory Vaden. This guy, Rory Vaden. And make sure you listen to episode 300, Rory Vaden's podcast, because this is the prelude to going deeper and deeper and deeper. If you listen to episode 300, you heard Rory ask, what is your divine uniqueness? What is your divine uniqueness? And I ask you today, what is your divine uniqueness? Because I heard, what's your divine uniqueness? You can best serve the person you used to be. And you must find your divine uniqueness and then exploit it in the service of others. That's a Larry Wingate quote, but it came up with Rory and then Lewis Howes and some of those things. So here's the story and why I share today, just a week after you listened to the Rory Vaden episode. But in essence, I actually recorded that just about a month ago. So when I recorded Rory Vaden's episode, which you listened to last week, episode 300, that was on a Tuesday that I actually recorded that episode. And when he said, what's your divine uniqueness? Guys, I couldn't answer it because he said it's got to get down to one word, max two. And I got to be real with y'all, is I don't know if you listen to that or if you really can identify your one divine uniqueness. Is like, what did God give you that is so unique that there's no one better in the world at this than you? This is your divine uniqueness. This is what makes you outrageously unique. I opened my journal and I started to write. And in it, I had energy, positivity, mindset. I had impact. I had contagiasm. I had all these words, but none of them would really define me. Is in my mind, like, this is what makes me the most unique person in the world, because we all have this, right? With all humility, we all have a uniqueness. We all have this gift. So that was a Tuesday. Couldn't answer it. Wednesday, I'm training Pastor Jeremiah. He's on the treadmill. And again, many of you have heard me talk about Pastor Jeremiah. He's one of the most iconic pastors of our time. He just had the opportunity. When you talk about iconic pastors, Charles Stanley, who recently passed away, Pastor Jeremiah actually had the extreme honor to speak at his funeral, Charles Stanley. But I'm speaking with Pastor Jay, and I said, Doc, what is your divine uniqueness? Now, Doc's 82 years old, and he says, well, that's pretty easy for me to define. I'm a man of, not only a man of faith, but I know that my uniqueness is in knowing the word, and I am a pastor. I am a pastor who just loves to share the message of Jesus Christ with the world. That's what I'm designed to do. And my world revolves around that. And there was so much conviction that he had. And here I am. And I couldn't think of that one thing because it keeps coming to impact and impact and impact. But as Rory was saying, this is something that you build your brand around because God made you. To me, impact is the end result of your divine uniqueness or my divine uniqueness. So when I asked you what your divine uniqueness is, that was Wednesday. Couldn't answer it. Wednesday, thinking about it, I'm journaling, I'm writing. And then late that night, literally at 2:36 in the morning, Thursday morning, I woke up with divine appointment. And at 2:36 in the morning, and I've shared this with my mastermind and Impact X coaching groups weeks ago when this happened, but I'm going to share it with you because it's part of my story, is at 2:36, God put on my heart, coach. You're a coach. I laid there at bed. Now you're probably laughing, no, duh, Todd, that's what you do. But when you think about what makes you the most unique person is, man, here was the mindset. Now stay with me because this is what I want you to think. In all humility, what do you do best in the world at? What is it that makes you tick when you're in your sweetest spot? What is it that you're the best in the world at? And God laid in my heart right there at 2:36 in the morning. As I laid there with my left hand over my belly and my right hand over my heart, I can feel it right now. As I prayed there and said, what is it? And God looked down and said, coach, whistle around the neck, and you're coaching people to be the best version of themselves. You're a mindset coach. You're a heart set coach. You're a soul coach. You're an impact coach. And I heard these words so clear as if God was speaking to me. And I don't have this clarity all the time, but when I heard mindset coach and soul coach, I thought to myself, interesting. More importantly, I serve people to help get their minds, bodies, and souls right. Now you're like, no, fake. Of course, Todd. But when I think about the last 3 years and what I'm going to reveal of you can best serve the people who you used to be is I serve growth-minded people. Typically, they've been seeking a deeper purpose, and typically they are or even were operating at high levels, but are currently stuck. They're stalled, they're frustrated, they're burnt out, they're lost, or maybe they're even, maybe they're below empty. Their tanks are empty. And they need to recapture their essence and their energy and their mojo to get their life back. Because for the last 3 years, in many ways, I felt like that was me. And here I lay thinking, man, that's what I do. That's what I do. Rory put it on of your divine uniqueness. Here I am thinking, what is that specific thing that I need to go even deeper on? How can I double down on that through coaching, through fitness, through life coaching, through business coaching and speaking and keynoting, all these things. The bottom line is I love to coach. When I'm on stage, I'm coaching. What do coaches do? Coaches do all the things I wrote down in that journal. I motivate, I inspire, I energize, I change lives. Well, I laid there for 3 hours in bed from 2:36 to 5:30, and I laid out the whole map of what the team and I had been working on for 6 months with the website rebrand. And I went back to the team and had to tell them, guys, I got more clarity. And on this website and everything that's going to come out here in a couple of weeks is we got to go back to the drawing board a little bit because I went deeper than we went in the last 3 months of this website redesign, rebrand, and everything else we're doing. And here's where it gets crazy. On Friday, remember that was Thursday morning, I didn't sleep much. I couldn't even talk to Melanie because I was so tired. I shared this conversation with Pastor Jeremiah in his Friday session. And I say, Doc, guess what? Remember that conversation we had about, reinvention and your divine uniqueness? Because Doc had revealed to me that he believes that you're constantly reinventing yourself. And even at age 82 in his latest project that shall come out in October of 2023 with his newest book. He's reinventing himself. He went deep that day sharing about reinvention of when he was a young pastor in one season of his life, how he had moved to the Midwest and then he moved to New Jersey. It was on a boardwalk in New Jersey that Pastor David Jeremiah decided that he was going to reinvent himself and take on this pastoral role out here in San Diego at Shadow Mountain Church. And in the last 40 years, that's what Doc has been doing, is motivating, inspiring people through the word and through prophesizing Jesus. And what he does, right, in saving so many people's lives is that, man, all of a sudden the light bulb went off. You're reinventing yourself constantly. And whatever season of life you're in, it was after that session, I just got done stretching Doc, and he sits down, he looks me in the eye, and I'll remember this look and this question for the rest of my life. He said, Todd, you've been talking about reinvention and you've been talking about all that you're going through because I see what God's doing in you. And it makes me proud to know that you're not done yet. Because there's times in the last 3 years that I'm like, man, do I hang it up? Do I hang up the cleats and take the 6 to 12 month sabbatical that maybe God's calling me to do? And Doc says this. He said, you know, I've been watching you as a dad and as a husband and as a trainer and as a coach and as a speaker. You've spoken at the chapel so many times. He goes, you keep telling me to get outside my comfort zone. You keep telling me that in the pulpit and in my writing that there's another level. He said, I'm challenging you today to get outside your comfort zone. I said, what do you mean, Doc? He said, well, you talk about it all the time about getting outside your comfort zone. I'm going to challenge you to get outside your comfort zone today. I said, how is that? He said, I'm going to ask you right now to do something that you've never done. I said, what is it, Doc? I'm getting all excited. And then he says this. He said, Father's Day is coming up. I said, yeah, in June. He said, yep. He said, I'm going to ask you something right now that I'd like you to do. I'd like for you on Father's Day to take the pulpit at Shadow Mountain Church, and I'd like for you to preach my 3 sermons. I said, what? I said, Doc, I can't do that. I'm not a pastor. I can't take the pulpit from one of the most iconic pastors of our time, Doc. I mean, the bar that you set, I'm not a pastor. I'm not ordained. He said, everything that you do is a ministry. Every single thing you do is a ministry. I listen to all your episodes. I watch you. I see what you're doing. I'm asking you to preach the sermon on Father's Day. I said, Doc, I got to pray about this over the weekend. I don't know if I can say yes. He said, I'm telling you right now, you've been challenging me for almost 7 years to get outside my comfort zone. And when he raises an eyebrow and says, I'm asking you to get outside your comfort zone and do something, I want you to consider hard about what God is calling you to do. Podcast listeners, I went home that weekend not saying yes or no because I was scared. Who am I? Who am I on Father's Day, this coming Father's Day in June 2023, to get behind the pulpit and preach a message about that? And then there was a sign over the weekend that made it real clear. And when on Monday I saw him, I said, Doc, I accept. I proudly accept the honor and the opportunity to share from the heart of what God's got on my heart about Father's Day. He looked at me as a proud father would and said, well done, good and faithful servant. That wasn't me asking, that was God asking. I can't wait to hear your message. Well, my friends, not only will I ask you to join me, probably virtually, unless you're in San Diego or SoCal, want to be in the in the audience at Shadow Mountain Church is I got to tell you, I'm nervous for that. But what's interesting is that the Rory Vaden episode challenged me, just as you just listened last week. And for 4 weeks, man, in the last 4 weeks, I've been to Nashville, Tennessee, to work specifically with Rory and his team for a 2-day intensive event. Rory's behind E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. He's behind Ed Milet and Lewis Howes and a lot of other big brands. And I've worked with Rory on this. His one of his key people on his team, Bob Wheatley, joined me in Whitefish, Montana, just 2 weeks ago for my Todd Durkin Mastermind Why Wait retreat, and delivered gems to the team. And I made some really key strategic decisions for the TDE brand and the overhaul and the rebrand and reignition of the reigniting of what's going to happen over these next few weeks in sharing. And truth be told, it's been an absolute bear of a project. If you've ever done a website and like really try to knock it out of the park, I knew going in it was going to be a bear, and it was more of a bear than I can even bear to admit. It was massive, and it's taken over 4 months of intensive lifting to get done. It's really well designed. It's highlighting what we do and what we will do. More importantly, what we're going to do to serve and make an impact in a much better and bigger way. And it's designed for you, our podcast listeners, our followers, and for you to do several things. And we've got our brand new Dose of Durkin coming back. You remember the Dose of Durkin? It's coming back on Thursday. Not a podcast, but I'm going to be dropping free workouts and inspiration on Thursday. These are emails that will be dropping. Yeah, there'll be some audios in there. That's going to mean you need to make sure you're signed up for the emails, my email list, when this thing comes out in the next week or two. There's going to be workout challenges. There's going to be a lot inside of there. But the bottom line is this. I'm in the midst of the reinvention right now, and I'm sharing and will be sharing why reinvent yourself. And there's 3 reasons why. 3 reasons why you reinvent yourself, or you rebrand yourself, or you renew yourself, or you re-inspire, or you reignite yourself. Number 1, your past. Whether it's success or failure, it's time to grow, my friends. Whether it's success or failure, the last 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, or 5 years, your past, it's time to grow. That's number 1. Why reinvent yourself? Number 2, your present. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe you're stalled. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're not happy. Maybe you're down. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you're struggling to recapture the mojo or the edge that you used to have. Or maybe you are finding success right now, and it's massive success, and you can grow even more, and you know that you have even more impact inside of you, and that you want to continue to grow. So maybe it's time to grow. 1, your past. 2, your present. 3, your future. Why reinvent yourself? Maybe because you know that your future is bigger than your past. Maybe you know that your future is bigger than your present. Maybe your dreams are bigger than your past and your present combined. Maybe you're really hungry to see what else you have in the tank in this experiment that we happen to call life. Maybe it's time to grow. Or maybe it's all 3. For me, it's been all 3. The past, the present, and the future. The past 20 years in my career, there's been a lot of success. I humbly say that. I humbly say that there's been accolades and achievements and joy and so many success and transformation stories of the body and the mind and the soul, and lives changed and saved. And it's interesting, though. Success is an interesting conundrum. I'm going to unpack that more next week and what I mean by that, because it's been an interesting several years of just pondering, how do you take success and go deeper and go even more on significance? Because it's some ways a little bit of a mind screw on that. In the present, and when I say the present, I'm talking the present, the past 3 years, because to me, the present has been the past 3 years. That's all I can say is I'm going to unpack big time next week on the episode, and I'm going to share a lot of pain and frustration and failure and challenges that the past 3 years have provided, and how it's eventually caused me to become, well, there was a time where I was exhausted and burnt out. And that has led to where I am today. And thank God we have gotten to this point. I'm so excited to share. Like I said in the beginning of today's show, I didn't want to just drop all this on you and not share why the past 3 years have led me to this rebrand, this reinvention, this reigniting of my own energy and spirit and the future. And the last part of our series here in the Reinvention Project series is why I'm really, really, really excited for the next season. The next season. This is the 3.0 version of myself, not the 2.0 version. What version, what season are you in? And when I say version, here's what I mean by the 3.0 version. Version 1 was from birth to age 25 for me. So from being a kid all the way up to age 25, when I blew up my back, my football career ended, I had to reinvent myself after college and after, success and all of this stuff. My many of you know from previous episodes, all of that up until my serious back injury at age 25. Season 2 was from 25 to age 50, season 2. And wins, losses, and, a meteoric ascent from the first 5 years, from 25 to 30, to figure out how I get overcome back pain. And age 30, opening up Fitness Quest 10, and from 30 to 50 of everything at Fitness Quest 10 and life and starting a family, getting married, kids, all of that good stuff, to now at 52, I'm defining season 3 from 50 to 75. 50 to 75 in season 3. What season are you in? Maybe you're in season 4, right? Doc is in season 4 at 82 of that. So if you have any of what I've experienced in the last month or 6 to 12 months or 3 years or even longer, I want to tell you this. What you're going to hear over these next several weeks, including today and what I just shared, is that I'm in the fight with you. I'll never leave you alone. Keep going. Know that it's okay to sometimes be off a little bit. You got to course correct. Know that you and I are going to face ups and downs, setbacks and comebacks, storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, fires, or maybe all of them, and sometimes all of them even in the same season. Anxiety, angst, loss of sleep, dejected or depressed. I got you. I understand you. We got to keep going. So here's where I'm at. Next week, I'm going to give you a deep dive into 3 years of hell. Things I've been through to get to where I'm at today. And I'm not done yet. By any means, I'm not done, but I need to share what's happened as this rebrand comes out and all of this reinvention comes out. I'm going to give you some more context to the depth. So buckle up your bootstraps of what you're about to hear. Today, I'm setting the tone on this intro. And throughout this series, I want to be able to coach you through this, not just share of what's going through. And as I start and think about even the next book to go deeper and deeper and deeper, is I want to coach you through this. So what do I mean by coach you through this? Whether you have a downtime right now or you're at an uptime, I believe these coaching questions and thoughts will allow you to continue to rebrand, regrow, reinvent yourself so you can keep being the best version of yourself. So my question is this, and you've probably been contemplating since episode 300 with Rory Vaden, is what is your divine uniqueness? And you can journal this if you like. What is your divine uniqueness? What is it that most makes your soul sing? Like for me, I know when I'm speaking in live events and retreats. I love when I'm coaching in the mastermind or coaching in my Impact X, and even training. When I'm still in the trenches training people, athletes, I love it. I love it. I can or don't do as much as I always want to, but I know that when I'm speaking, when I'm coaching, that's what I'm designed to do. My second question is this. What do you need to eliminate from your life today that's making it too complex or diluted? Man, the last 3 years have been so complex in so many ways. From all the COVID stuff to all the changes and ups and downs and trying to figure out life. Can anyone feel me on that? Can I get an amen, anyone? Am I speaking to anyone today? Can I get an amen, please? That I'm not the only one who's lost their mind and come back and lost their mind and come back and lost their mind and come back. Am I speaking to anyone? Okay, good. I heard a few of you say yes. Good. Sing it nice and proud and loud with that. I mean, guys, just a few weeks ago, I was all set with this rebrand to even have memberships. Why? Because some on my team were like, we got to have more memberships, and we got to have, memberships where we could serve our podcast listeners on these memberships and these low-level memberships and that. But it didn't sit right with me. It kept me up at night. And when I say kept me up at night, where I was only getting 2 or 3 or 4 hours of sleep, NG, not good. If you're losing sleep for days or weeks or months or years, and there's a lot of incongruence in your mind or your soul, God's working on you. God's working on you. You're not alone. I've been there. I'm sharing with you today, being vulnerable with the Jersey dog looking at me. I love you too, buddy. You're not alone. You're not alone. What can you eliminate? There's no memberships, no new memberships coming out. You're not going to get a $5, $10 membership anytime soon, because I'm trying to go deeper, not broader. Can I get an amen? I want deeper, not broader. What can you eliminate, delegate, reduce in your life that's going to allow you to focus more on your divine uniqueness? And the third question of that about coaching you is, what pain or struggle are you currently facing? What is it? And I want you to write it down. I want you to journal it. And I want you to journal, what is this pain or struggle teaching you? Because when I share next week about my past 3 years, specifically some of those things, I'm going to share a journal entry or two. And this isn't the only episode that's made me nervous, because when I share this is my journal, and I want you to be vulnerable with your journal. I'm not asking you to share your journal with me or anyone else or on a podcast, but I know this, that God's calling me to speak to someone today as you listen to this, to know that if you're in pain, that if you're struggling, you're not alone. Can you look at me? Can you feel me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me right now, that you're not alone, to keep going, to keep pushing, that you're out walking, you're jogging, or you're running? Because there were many months in the last 3 years when I could not move because of the physical pain that I was in. Let me repeat, could not move, and did some dumb things to try to get through that pain. So the third aspect, besides sharing and wanting to coach you, is I'm requiring you. Well, maybe I can't require. I'm going to challenge you to journal 5 days a week, starting this week. Journal 5 days a week. Take the weekends off if you want. But pick up your journal this week. And if you don't have my journal, please pick it up, the Impact Journal. It came out in the midst of this. Why? Because I wasn't sleeping. So I curated the Impact Journal to have morning and evening journaling prompts. Why? For me, to help me get my mind right and my soul right, because I wasn't sleeping. I want you to start journaling. Whether things are good right now or not, I want to make sure that you go deeper in this next month or so, that I'm sharing my heart and soul with you like I've never done before. And I'm going to step you through every aspect. I'm going to coach you through this entire series of maybe the abyss that you're in, the depression that you're in, the hell maybe that you're going through right now. Not only to go through it, but what it's going to take for you to get through and to the other side, your next season that you're entering, the 2.0, the 3.0, or the 4.0 version of you. You got it? Good. Let's get it. So I'm going to wrap up today with saying this. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for allowing me to share just the intro and the kickoff to what will be the deepest series yet on this. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable and sharing with you. And I know you want to hear these 3 years of hell right now that I've gone through. Like, you're leaving me on a cliffhanger. Good. It's like a good episode of Strong, right? Of you got to have this. But I mean, this may be better suited for a book, and that's coming. But I want to share over these next several weeks, and next week in particular, when I say the 3 years of hell, it's going to have to wait another week. But if you can hang in there, if I can wait 3 years, you can wait a week. If I can get through this last 3 years, you can get through a week. Do your homework. Start to go even deeper in who you are today and where you're going to be tomorrow. Your dreams, your aspirations, your vision of what you want to be tomorrow. And please give me feedback. I just got vulnerable with you. I need your feedback. I told you in the beginning that your words are oxygen for me. They feed my soul. What spoke to you today? You can DM me, you can email me, you can share it on your social media. Please, right now, snap a picture. Snap a picture, take a picture, tag me on that, and know that, because when I say that your words mean that to me, that's why I do what I do. So please share this episode. And please share it with someone you love. Copy it, text them. Or maybe someone that you know who's sick right now, or struggling right now, or is frustrated, or they need a major pick-me-up just today. They're in a little funk. You and I, the mind right maniacs, even when you don't have your mind right, we keep going. We must remind them and ourselves, not only is the best yet to come, but we always got to make our dreams bigger than our memories. Until we connect next week, have an incredible day. I'm proud of you. I really, really am proud of you. I know that everyone has a struggle. Me too. I'm proud of something within inside of you that maybe isn't there, that you're like, man, if they only knew. And I'm the first to admit, as I'll call it, the chief mind right maniac, that sometimes I am the chief mind right maniac, because sometimes, like you, I got to battle just to get my mind right. And I'm in your corner. I'm in the fight with you every single swing, every single set, every single rep, every single drop of sweat, blood, or tears. I'm not in the pulpit just preaching. Well, maybe I guess I'll be doing that soon, but that'll be just for a day. But you feel me, you know where I'm at. I'm there with you. So thank you. I love you so much. Thank you. I can't wait to see you or get in your ears next week. Until next time, train hard, eat right, live inspired, and go create impact today. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope that you got something special out today. I'm still emotional. Jersey Dog's fired up. He's ready to get back home. It's late on a Saturday afternoon, and I just need to come to the office today and do that with nobody here and share from my heart, because I believe that over these next several weeks, as you hear this, is I want to challenge you to just step into the best man or woman that God designed you to be. So thank you for being you. A couple reminders. Can you please snap a picture of this episode right now if you haven't already done so? Share it on your social media. If you have not yet done so, please make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. I do not want you to miss a single episode, especially in this series, this Reinvention Project series that I've got on right now. It will be the deepest series to date out of 300 plus episodes. I believe that this is going to speak to you. I'm really, really excited for what's coming up, but it would be remiss if I didn't share the past of what I've gone through to get to where I am today and what's going to happen. If you are not yet part of my text community, many of you have signed up. Thank you. But if you have not, here is my cell phone number. Yes, it is me on the other line. This is the number, 619-304-2216. Let me repeat, it is me. I see every text. So if you want to sign up and give me the feedback on the text, it's my text that I will see you saying, hey, TD, I really liked the episode and this is what I loved about it. or if you DM me on social media, I'll see that as well. But get in my text community so I can communicate with you as a macro and one-on-one as well. 619-304-2216. And lastly, I shared this with you. In my new 2.0 version of the Dose of Durkin. Yeah, the 2.0 version of the Dose of Durkin. I used to do these Dose of Durkins video messages way back in the day. The Dose of Durkin, they dropped. And man, that was before we had our Mind Right Maniac series. Who remembers the Dose of Durkin? Any of you OGs out there? Oh, good. A couple of you remember the old Dose of Durkin. Well, they're coming back in a revised format with the rebrand of the website, todddurkin.com. If you go there, the website might not be done. You'll know when it's done. I will let you know when it's done. But the new Dose of Durkin emails and messages are beginning to drop here real soon. You're going to want to make sure you opt in to get the free weekly workout challenge. Yep, my WOAH workout challenge, the workout of the week. So how do you do that? You're just going to opt in on my website, www.todddurkin.com. Check it out by making sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss an email. I always drop a Monday inspirational email, and now you're going to get a Thursday one as well. And that Thursday will be a short dose of Durkin so that not just once a week, man, I'm fired up, but let me have a little sip here. I didn't take a single sip of water in that entire episode. I'm gonna need to rehydrate up. www.todddurkin.com. Check it out today. Those are your reminders. Go out there. Let's create an incredible week. And don't forget, Mother's Day is coming. Happy Mother's Day to all you mamas out there. I love you guys. And without further ado, let's listen to a special message from Mama Durkin right now.
Yoo-hoo! This is Mama Durkin here. Thanks for listening to today's show. I always knew since he was a young boy, he would be doing something special. And I tell him to this day, though, you better behave yourself or I'm going to chase you around the table again and crack another wooden spoon over your backside. It was easier for him to get away from me, but I really never hurt him that bad. Seriously, I'm proud of him and love listening to every podcast episode. Keep creating impact, Todd. Until next time, train hard, eat right, and live inspired. Mama Durkin.